I don't know if you talked about this before, but what would be a limitation for MQTT?
So for the standard purposes, it would be sufficient for almost everything. You have to look a bit for the version of your MQTT broker, because only starting with version 5, you can shared subscribe to one topic. What this means is usually in a cluster you have multiple pods running. And if at the moment, like we have it here, they will all listen to the topic and they will all get the messages, all of the messages. But what you usually would want to is they share the subscription, and that the queue load balances it and basically sends one message to one of the pods and one message to the next one to the next one.
If they're the same.
Yeah, if you have like some same ID or so.
Okay, yeah.
And that's something that's only supported with MQTT 5 and not before, and that's the recent version.
Okay.
So if you have an old broker, then it might not support this yet. Yeah, that's one limitation. Another one that we have with this public broker here, but it's also...
You want me to share your screen?
Yeah, actually, yeah, you can. So there's quality of service levels that we haven't talked about really. So there's at most once, for example, which is a basic level. So
what does it mean, at most once?
You will get this message at most once as a subscriber.
So you won't get it twice?
You won't get it twice.
Okay.
Also not 3 times, but also maybe not at all. So,
okay.
And also this queue here, it doesn't retain the messages. So when I...
Fire and forget.
Yeah, when I send a message here, and that my Quarkus is down in that at that moment, and it reconnects, then you don't get this message.
Okay.
You cannot look back to the past. There's also, if you deploy your own one, you can also configure that it should retain messages, and then you can reconsume them. But for stuff like that, then Kafka or bigger queue might be more what you want.
Okay.
Then there's a different service level that's at least once. So you see it's the other way around. It guarantees that you get the message, but you might get it more than once.
Okay. Is there an acknowledge in the chain, or?
Yeah, you can acknowledge the message or nag them, not acknowledge.
Okay.
And then you should get them again. But at least once, you see it's the other way around, so it has its own challenges. You are guaranteed to get the message, at least when you're there. But you could get it multiple times. So when you use the message to insert something into a database, like a message ID or so, and then you might run into duplicated entries or so. Okay. So you need to make sure that your message has some ID where you can then identify, oh, this is a duplicate, I already saw this. Or maybe your use case doesn't care. It's also possible.
Okay.
Maybe you're only interested in making sure you get the message, but if you get it twice, it's also not so bad. And then there's also exactly once. It's like the nicest, but also requires more effort on the queue side and your implementation side. So both sides need to support it. In Quarkus, there's also a property where you can configure it, the level you want. And the queue must support it.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's that.
Nice. What would be something that you would definitely use Kafka for instead of MQTT?
If you have like a big enterprise thing for where you send around internal messages that should be retained, So
Mm-hmm.
then you need to preserve them for a longer time. And if you have this, yeah, and then on top also this sharing or shared reading basically, and with Quarkus, with Kafka, Kafka can be super crazy fast. So if you want to put like, you can also scale it better.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to really put like thousands of messages per second into there, it can handle it. The installation might get big and expensive, but it can handle it.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like using a nuke. Um, it is able to
Okay.
solve all your problems,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, nukes come with downsides too.
So it's a business solution. You can do it.
Yeah,
Might be a lot of work. You might not run into the limitations of it.
yeah,
Okay.
but it's, for example, way harder to maintain and set up on your own, because you then need to cluster it directly, because they have this directly in the mind. So you have multiple pods running and so on. And for MQTT, there are a ton of containers out there where you just start a container and you have your queue. Done.
Nice.
And with Kafka, then you can also do crazy SSL authentication mechanisms and stuff that might be interesting for your company efforts. But if you use IoT or so, then your IoT device will not like that.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, because it will be, yeah, it will struggle. So if you want to go with IoT or start your project, just use an MQTT and you can be happy. If you go into more advanced stuff, also like what happens if a message goes wrong, if something fails. With Kafka, you can then also have like failure topics. So all the failed messages are moved to this failure topic, and then you can later have a look at it, or you can monitor this, or you can have like operations team look into it. This is currently not supported with the MQTT connector, because it's also not.
Okay.
Yeah. In IoT, for example, with these measurements, if one of them gets lost, yeah, in 5 minutes you get the next one.
Yeah. Okay.
From your sensor or so. And so it's not that critical. If you lose an order of your customer, yeah.
As long as the money's here, I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah. So for shipping the order, you can use MQTT, but for payment, you need to use Kafka to make
Okay.
sure you get your money. Yeah.
Nice. Very cool. And we also have a new follower,
Oh, nice.
Cypher Enigma.
Cypher Enigma.
I hope
Nice. Welcome.
I pronounce it correctly. Welcome to the club. Thank you for the follow. And yeah, I can't really come up with new questions. I think as always, mind blowing, so much information, but this helped a lot.
Then maybe I have some more.
Sure.
Follow us on Medium.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
So great. Do you have a link?
Yeah, but you can post it. I cannot. For me.
Oh, okay. You mean the official one? Okay.
Yeah, the Medium, just like Consist.
Okay.
So we have a Medium page, and I also started preparing a blog post series following this series here, and we also published the videos on YouTube. So also go there and check out the videos on YouTube if you want to rewatch them. And in the blog posts, I also explain everything in detail, and you have the code to copy around. And there's also a repository where we share the code, where you can have a look at. But we also have a lot of other interesting stuff about iOS, new stuff about ChatGPT, or experiences in real life. So have a look and follow us. But that's all of the advertisement, I would say.
Nice. I will also. Yeah.
Okay. So you have all the links in the chat.
Perfect.
Follow us, give us some views and clicks.
Yeah, if you're interested in other topics, you can post it here. Comment on the
videos.
Medium articles, or on YouTube, or on this video, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do whatever, so we will notice you.
Okay. Then I would say that's that.
Thank you.
Have a nice
It was a lot of fun. Yeah. Have a great weekend. Hope you enjoy the awesome weather.